Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Maaike, and in today's episode of August Palette Extravaganza, I thought we could talk about some Colourpop singles, because I don't own that many Colourpop eyeshadow palettes because I mainly own singles by them, which is why I thought we could talk about the top 5 favorite Colourpop singles that I own and my top 5 least favorite Colourpop singles that I own. Now, to be quite fair, I love every single one of these. Colourpop singles have incredible quality especially for the price point. They're only $5 a pop. And if you do like a BYOP, so a build your own palette, then it can be quite affordable. I was just browsing their website last night to also check and see whether some of the shades I will be featuring are still available, because that's the thing with Colourpop, of course. But currently you can get a 12 pan eyeshadow palette for $24, so that's quite affordable. Today we are starting first with my 5 least favorite eyeshadows, and then we're gonna go into the top 5. Most of my least favorite eyeshadows are in the first palette I put together. I made this about a year ago, and I do really like the shades in here. Remember that, I do love all of these, but I felt there were a couple that were a little bit lackluster. And the first shade I wanted to talk about is this one right here, which is Slayfarer, which I believe is described as a teal, but I just felt it just was a bit and that was an issue I had when I received most of these Colourpop singles at first. I felt that the way they looked online, they looked a lot more vibrant and a lot more interesting than what they looked like once I got them home. So let me swatch that for you. So there you have Slayfarer, and as you can see, it doesn't really go a very long way. It has good pigmentation, don't get me wrong. You can definitely build it up and sort of make it look a lot more interesting, but I felt it didn't really deliver what I wanted it to deliver. Plus, it was very similar to the shade that I put next to it, which is Tiny Tangerines, which was a bit of a shame because on the website they present it as it being a very different shadow, but I felt that these two are very similar actually. So that was another reason why this was a bit of a letdown. Another one that didn't blow me away was this one right here. This is Deja Boo, which is still available as well. And this is supposed to be like a lime green, and it is, but it's more of a yellow, and it's a really, really thin formula. I'm not sure if you can see that right there on my finger, but it just really doesn't do much. It definitely needs to be layered over something else for it to really show up. I'm not sure if you can even see that. It didn't wow me. It has okay pigmentation, and these kind of shades are super hard to do, so the fact that Colourpop has one is already great, but I think there are better lime greens on the market than Deja Boo, but it is definitely an interesting shade that I put in this palette. And then this matte purple right here, which is called Silver Lining, is another one that didn't really wow me. Like Slayfarer and Deja Boo, it feels less creamy, and it just feels a little bit thin. It is a really nice cool tone purple though, so that is why I do really like it. But as you can see, it's a bit patchy. It's not as vibrant as I was hoping it to be when I got it, and it didn't wow me very much. It's a good shade to have, I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy it, but out of everything that I have here, these 3 are definitely the letdowns in this palette. In my newer palette that I bought last January, I also have 2 that didn't really wow me. I've used all of these shades by now, and these 2 shades here, these like corally shimmers, they are very pretty, but they don't really suit my skin tone all that well, so that's a bit of a shame. So this one right here is called Ready or Yacht, and it is pretty, don't get me wrong, it's a stunning shade. I just feel that it's more of a topper than anything else. It doesn't really go with a lot of things that I would like to do. It has a really nice high shine, so this works really well in the inner corner, but how many inner corner highlights could you possibly need? Because I also have a really stunning one in here. I think it's called, what's this called again? Hear Me Out, I believe it's called. At least one of those first shades is called Hear Me Out. I remember that. So this is really pretty, and if you're doing a look with some of these pinks and oranges and corals in this palette, it works really well with that, but I don't really see myself using it anywhere beyond that, so that's a bit of a shame. And then my fifth least favorite shade by Colourpop is this one. This is called Heavy Glam, and this is a peachy corally shade with like a gold shift. It's really pretty, but I feel that this is also, again, a little bit thin. It doesn't really pack a punch like I thought it would. It does feel nice and creamy, but in my first palette, I already owned Sauvage, I believe this is called, and this is more of a pink, but with a very similar shift to it, I feel. So, especially when you swatch them next to each other, I just kind of feel they're a bit similar, almost interchangeable, whereas Sauvage is more of a pink with a gold shift, whereas this is more of like a peachy coral with a gold shift. But they're both shifting as much. They're nice, but I prefer the pink over the orange. Again, it's a nice lid color to go with some of these more colorful mattes here, but I wouldn't use it beyond that like the other one. So I could have known that because I'm not really into oranges and these like super warm tones, but I felt I needed to have something that would go with these shades. These go really well. That being said, it definitely serves a purpose, but out of everything I have here, those are my 5 least favorite eyeshadows by Colourpop. So again, here swatched Slayfarer, Deja Boo, Silver Lining, this is Ready or Yacht, and Heavy Glam. For my top 5 favorites, we're going to be sticking to this palette for a minute because most of my favorites are from the newer bunch that I got. Especially, I wanted to start with this. This is Wishful Winking, which in the pan looks like a standard, like dark shimmering green. It's when you apply this that you notice it having a shift. And it reminded me a lot of Natasha Denona Dragon Bite, actually. Let me swatch it right here. So as you can see, it's like a brownish red with a teal flash. It is the most stunning duochrome. And I really wished that Heavy Glam was like an intense shade like this. It's not. This is a lot more sheer. This is a lot more intense. This immediately packs a punch. This all over the lid was absolutely stunning, and this is now one of my favorite Colourpop shades for a very good reason. And then a couple of the shimmers that I have here, my top row, are also stunning. I bought On a Whimsy, and I'm not a big fan of silver because silver is a very difficult shade to get right. This is one of the most perfect neutral tone silvers I have ever found. It's not too blue, it's not too gray. You can pair it with a lot of different things, and when I was wearing this, I believe I did a look with like some of these blues and greens here, and then this is such a stunning like accent shade. Like this is great for like a half cut crease or something like that. So there we have On a Whimsy. Do you see how far that swatch just goes effortlessly, whereas these kind of like stop halfway through? That's because these are just so much more pigmented. And look at that shine. I love On a Whimsy. It's such a stunning silver, and I'm usually not a big fan of silver, so that says quite a bit. And then the last shade that I was absolutely loving in this palette is a bit more of a topper, I'm not gonna lie, and it's this one right here, which is called Earthshine. And I believe this was newly released when I purchased these shadows. It is like a pinky shade, but it has a bit of a purple flash to it. It's really, really pretty. It is also a bit thinner, but it has a lot of sparkle to it. It has that high shine. This is so stunning, again, in like a cut crease or in a halo eye, in the inner corner. Because of the shade of this, you can do so much with it, and that's what I really appreciate about that one. And then my last 2 favorites are in my older style palette. There's a nice even split between these two. And I told you that Tiny Tangerines would be making an appearance because this is my 4th favorite Colourpop shade. Tiny Tangerines is what I wanted Slayfarer to be. So really, I could perhaps do without Slayfarer and just keep Tiny Tangerines, but I'm not sure why it's called Tiny Tangerines because I don't think this color has anything to do with tangerines, and I also don't feel it's a teal. This translates on me like a bit of a turquoise, so that's a bit of a shame. But there you have Tiny Tangerines. Do you again see the difference here with Slayfarer? How that sort of just stops, whereas this sort of keeps going and it's a bit brighter, it has a bit more shine. This is such a stunning shade and I'm really digging these kind of shades this summer. So perfect shade. And my last favorite Colourpop shade is this one right here. It's Glass Bull. It's a cult favorite by now and everybody is starting to do shades like this. This is another duochrome. I really like my Colourpop duochromes. And this is one of those shades that in the pan doesn't look like much, but then when you apply it, it has like a pinky dusty rose base to it, but then it has a bluish greenish flash. It is so stunning. This makes your lids look wet when you wear it. I do have to say that if you already own the Dream Street palette, that you don't necessarily have to buy this shade, because I'm not sure what it's called, but the shade in the left bottom corner of the Dream Street I find very comparable to this. It has a very similar effect once you apply it to your eyes. This is stunning all over the lid, as an inner corner, halo eye, cut creases. This shade has got it down. So this is a really stunning shade that works really well and was really something very unique when it first launched. But by now, a lot of brands are doing something like Glass Bull. But if you want to get the OG, it's only $5, so it really doesn't break the bank. So there you have my 5 favorite Colourpop shadows: Glass Bull, Wishful Winking, On a Whimsy, Earth Shine, and Tiny Tangerines. So there you have it. Those are my top 5, bottom 5 Colourpop singles. Let me know in a comment down below which ones are yours. I would love to know. Maybe I'm still missing a couple in this Colourpop shadow collection that you feel I should get. I'm definitely eyeing up a few again, which I don't have enough to make a full new palette, and I don't think I'd want to, but I currently also don't have any space to put them anywhere, so I don't just want to buy like a random set of singles and then not have space for them. That's not gonna work. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I'm currently posting all videos about eyeshadow and eyeshadow palettes. I definitely have an eyeshadow palette collection coming up, so stay tuned for that, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!